Gather round, preview. Jim, rank your 5 favourite bars to go in Adelaide. No, I can't be bothered.
We'll do that next year when we're coming to you live from Gather Round.
The Stables is like there's like literally all the trashy ones on Hindley Street, like the Stables and the one that's got the bull, so the tin shed or whatever it is. The Strathmore is also hilariously dodgy, but there are like 3 or 4 that I go to when I'm over a gather round that I'm just like, got to hit it in for, just a couple of. There's a great cocktail bar hidden away off Hindley Street as well. I'm not going to tell you about, but there's a lot of really good sort of like awesome drinking pubs in Adelaide, and nothing makes me happier than a good drinking pub where you can watch some of the other games going and gather around, because like being there on the ground, it's awesome. And if you've got tickets to like, multiple games, it's fantastic because you sort of like, spending your weekend there maybe, or just a couple of nights, whatever. But you sort of, if you're there for the breadth of it, like you then have like the games that you're not going to go to, you actually need that pause just to sit in a bar, watch the game, or like the early game on Sundays. Like we'll just go to the pub and like watch that, and we'll go to the game that we're going to later or something like. And when you go to somewhere like Norwood, where it's literally like going to a game in Ballarat, like you're like, this is awesome. Like that's a person's backyard here. Like, this is sick. And like half of this ground is like the boundary line is a straight line because they've run out of room.
That's
like,
unreal. It's one of the best quirks about local footy is when you have these grounds where I think there's one somewhere where there's still a tree in the middle of it and stuff like that, and the gravel ground down in Tassie. Like there's just so many quirks around local footy. That's what just makes it so cool.
And gather round, I think the cool part on top of that is just, the vibe in the entire city.
Yeah. I can't wait to get there and have a go. I'm hoping next year I can get over there, but yeah, I'm keen as. Yeah.
Because like this again,
footy.
And you got they do a great job with the thing on the river where it's like all the footy stuff, and you're like, this is great. So love me some gather round. How am I going to deal with my FOMO this week, Jez? I'm going to go to Sydney on Friday to go to the Opera House because I'm fancy, me.
Right.
Unfortunately, at the Opera House, I'll be seeing a band called Tism, one of my all-time favorite bands, and it's going to be hilarious. So that's a good way to
say hi to Greg for me. Say hi to Greg, the stop sign for me. Cheers.
Awesome. What are you, a yobber or a wanker? We're about to find out. Heck, can I be both? Because I'm pretty sure. It's going to be awesome. This is going to be the best way to deal with the FOMO ever. Like Carlton going to get their heads in on the Thursday. I'll be sad anyway. I'll just go to Sydney on Friday, watch one of my favorite bands play the Opera House, and then fly back Sunday afternoon after spending the afternoon in the pub with a mate. So should be good. Speaking of which, Thursday night footy. Adelaide, 33.5-point favourites as Gather Round kicks off against the Blues, and wow, are they going to smash my beloved Carlton. I was tempted to think, well, maybe the Blues bet. No, not a chance. The Adelaide Oval record for them is absolutely dismal. And, the Crom, I think this is in front of their crowd, 33.5. This could spell the end for Boston if their heads kicked in. And I've got a slight feeling they will. So, I'm going to go Adelaide minus 33.5 here, Jez.
Yeah, I think I'd love to say that Carlton will cover it, only because they'll probably be up by that much at half time. But this week, I don't think they will be. So, I think that line's probably pretty good. So I'm going to go with Adelaide too.
So they lost by 60 there last year against the Crom.
Well, that's the other side of it too, is that unless they're playing Freo or West Coast, they don't win in Adelaide. So
they lost by 58 there the time before against the Crom.
Yeah.
I can keep going. So, they've been absolutely horrible. I think, just the simple idea of Carlton and Adelaide Oval, I'm always going to go the Crom. Even Port, just no love. So Adelaide for you as well. All right.
Yep.
What can Carlton do to actually win that game? Put the pressure on Adelaide, get them to capitulate in front of their home crowd, keep it tight, win the stoppages. which is what they tend to do. But the problem is make them pay, and I just don't know if they will. It'd be
No.
really nice if they did.
Yeah,
But
be a pleasant change.
I can't see it happening. Friday, this game's really fun. Collingwood versus Freo. Collingwood are 10.5-point underdogs on the road in Adelaide against the Dockers, and I guess it makes sense. Freo have looked better.
Especially if Daicos doesn't play.
I feel like that's got that built into it as well, right? 10.5 felt a little bit rich when I saw it. Like, this feels like a bit of a non-Daicos line. So I don't know if he plays. But also, I still don't. I'd be
interested. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what the status of Scott Pendlebury is as well, because even though he's 873 years old, he still is clearly a very important piece to their puzzle.
It's actually moved out to 12.5 since I wrote that down earlier today. So I still think I might go Freo. I don't know if I like. Oh, that's hard though, isn't it? I did say last week the Punters kept it close against the Lions, and they did not. So
no, that was in Brisbane though, not at the. Oh, this is in Adelaide. Oh wait. Yeah, I'm going to take Fremantle. Yep. If this was at the G and Daicos played, I'd probably take Collingwood to cover. But after seeing him try to get there for last week, I don't think he's going to play. And even if he does, I think it's far enough away from Melbourne that they'll have a little bit of stiffness from sitting in the plane for an hour or two. That they'll be a little bit underdone. So Freo for me.
I like it. I think their back tools will be pretty tough. Or their front tools will be tough for Collingwood to cover. And then the flip side, I really like their back line against this Pies forward line too. So yeah, it all just really sort of tips Freo for me. So this is a fun one. North versus Brisbane. And I mean, you sort of the line is 34.5 points for the Lions. This is out at the Barossa.
Seems pretty high.
So the Barossa games are always a little bit weird because like they sort of get this is a 12:35 our time start, and they always get a little bit lost in the jumble. But it's because it's always like North versus Gold Coast or something like that, right? North versus Brisbane though has a potential to be a really, really fun game, and I kind of want to take North. Like Brisbane on the road, give me 34.5 points. I think they get run down late, but I think I want to take North.
And I think the last time they played this game was a draw. If I'm not,
is a really, really good point. Because it was the reigning premiers, right? Going up against 71-71 last year. Amazing.
Yes, it was 71 apiece. So
I don't know, just being in the middle of nowhere in South Australia, I think I'll take North plus 34.5 just because weirder things have happened, I think.
I'm going to go with that. It's not looking like we're going to do much different at the moment, but I agree. I think this will be a similar result maybe to the Brisbane St Kilda game last week where North hang with them for a bit and then Brisbane just go, okay, we've had enough of this and just kick a few late ones to make sure they win it without too much of an effort. But I can't see it being a blowout. I think North are getting beyond that where they get absolutely blown out by teams. So I'm confident in them and the way they're going this year. So let's get behind them, Jim.
Nice. The first of the doubleheader at Adelaide Oval for the Saturday afternoon, Essendon versus Melbourne. I think last year this was the Saturday night game.
It was, yes.
How the mighty have fought, because I was at this last year.
Yep. I think that might have been our last win.
I think, wasn't it around King's birthday when you beat the Blues, maybe?
I don't think we beat the Blues, Jim. I think our last win might have been that particular game.
Oh, geez.
That's funny. A worry, isn't it?
A really long time ago. 26.5 point underdogs are the Essendon Bombers. Jez, do you have a chance at beating this team?
No.
All right. Can you cover 26.5 points?
I think we can, but I'm not going to tip us to. I'm going to go take Melbourne.
Jeez. And you're right.
I'd love to see the effort that we put in the second half for the whole game. But I think Melbourne are on an absolute high at the moment. And if they get any sort of head start, 3-4 goals early, we're not coming back from that. Not.
And FYI, Essendon's last win was the Dreamtime of the G game.
Okay, there you go.
So end of May.
Not far off. Yeah.
Very close. Because I remember, we went to the Blues Bombers game, the Squid and I, the King's Birthday Eve game. And again, it was like just a stupid Carlton win where like they managed to just hold on and you're like, oh my God. Anyway.
I think it was that game against Richmond that we actually, all of a sudden, we had 87 injuries and we had to basically play everyone on our list except for, I think, 2 players. So, we sort of fell off a cliff after that. But anyway.
So, I think the big question for me, Essendon, Melbourne, is can you continue that sort of, I don't know, the pride, the have a crackness, and can Melbourne be riding a little bit too high and you sort of just drag him into the mud a little bit? That's not exactly the Essendon way, though, I feel. So I kind of want to go with the D's here, Jez. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I've got the D's also, so.
I wanted to take the Bombers, but can't do it.
We
then at Sydney Gold Coast. This one is Sydney Gold Coast at Norwood is hilarious. These two teams are awesome. It's second and third on the ladder, and they're playing on like a little backyard oval. This is absolutely amazing. There is a 0.5 point line for the Swans, who are favourites. So basically, this is who do you reckon is going to win?
Basically, just tip it. Yep.
It's now going to 1.5. The Swans are 1.5 point favourites now. So I can see Gold Coast running amok, I think, on Norwood. And if it was like anybody but Sydney, I would have tipped him in a heartbeat. But I've just said my 28th parallel thing. I might have to go Sydney.
I
think Gold Coast stumble.
I tend to agree in that if it was anyone else, if they were playing the Dogs, maybe the only other team I couldn't see them is maybe Hawthorn, but I think anyone else, I think they'd be pretty happy to cover. You're obviously never going to see them play Brisbane there, so we don't have to worry about thinking about that. But I'm going to go with the Swans as well, just because they're such a good side, the Sydney Swans. Even without Errol Goulden, I think they might have enough. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go the Gold Coast Suns. I think they're going to I'm going to back them to bounce back, and I think this could be an absolute ripper. I'm hoping it is, but I'm going to go with the Suns. I'm going to back the Suns. I've got to do something different, Jim. I've got to give you a chance.
I'm just trying to visualize how this looks in Norwood, like Charlie Curnow kicking it over that back net that catches the footies before it goes into the houses. I think we saw a Richmond St Kilda game there a couple of years ago. That was an absolute perler where Max King was just like booting just everything.
It'll be Ben King. No, Max King's the St Kilda. My bad.
Yeah, and you just this is really like I can see Charlie Curnow doing that. Amadi, they might size plays a big factor. I think there's a bit of size in that Gold Coast back line, but I don't know. I feel like I just trust Sydney that little bit more right now. So
it'll be. Excuse me, can I have my ball back?
I get the ball back.
We're just playing over there. Do you want to come watch?
I love it. And then the big one, Saturday night. Adelaide. This game is so good. Hawthorn, Western Bulldogs. The Hawks are 8.5 point favourites. Do we like the Dogs or the Hawks in this one, Jez?
I'm going the Hawks. I
I'm going to
think
go
the
Bulldogs.
injuries to the doggies are probably going to hurt them a bit more, especially being Tim English and Ed Richards. Richards has been a really big part of their engine room for the last 18 months, and Tim English just he was dominating before. He wasn't dominating the taps. I thought Blackiston did a pretty good job against him, but around the ground he was just smashing us. So, and then when he went down, there was a noticeable shift because they had to put a makeshift ruckman in, and that allowed us to put Peter Wright against him. And we all know how that normally goes, but he actually did okay. So, I think that's possibly going to hurt them not having Tim English there. So, I'm not sure what they've got in the way of backups. So. And look, they've got the big boys there, Lloyd Meek and Ned Reeves. They're not going to get any smaller. So, and they service their midfield pretty well. So I'm going to go with the Hawks.
Yeah, I think you talked me into it as well. I think Adelaide Oval as well. Like that's the sort of thing that's just in my brain now too. Like I think this is it's the sort of ground under lights Saturday night that the Hawks can sort of just really put the foot down and like speed away from even a team like the Dogs, where they're not going to risk Sam Darcy in the ruck.
No.
They've got O'Donnell down back as well, is pretty big. But there's like just a dearth of injuries now. Like without like Libba is probably not going to be back for this, right? Ed Richards has been awesome. English, yeah. Oh, 8.5 though. I kind of still want to take the Dogs with the plus 8.5, but it feels like if the Hawks win, they'll probably win it by like 20, 30. Jeez, what happened? And you're like, they just took off and away they went. Sunday, Geelong, West Coast. This game out at Norwood, the Cats are going to have to put the hurt on them, aren't they? Like this is bounce back for the Cats. They desperately need a big win. Eagles at Norwood, it feels like it's just serving it up one on a platter. Like this could get ugly. That's a 45.5. 45.5, and I'm taking Geelong.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same. I think Geelong need to make up some percentage because they're sitting at 89%. So I think, this could be a big percentage booster for them if they and let's be honest, Geelong, when they do get on a roll, they can very much put the foot down and really drive it home. So,
and again, Norwood, I think the size of like Ollie Henry, Shannon Neal makes a big difference. And
Jezza Cameron will probably bounce back and kick a bag. So
I can absolutely see Jeremy Cameron kicking 10 goals in Norwood. Like that's something in my brain. I'm like, that could happen.
Good game for Sean Manor to have a bounce back as well. Your man.
Then we go, what is it, Barossa again for GWS Richmond. That's a weird one. 34.5 points Giants. I don't know. I don't really trust the Tigers on the road that much at all after this week, and GWS should probably kill them. So I'll go GWS there. What do you reckon, Jez?
Yeah, I think so. I think the week off will have helped them correct a few things, and I think it's going to be I think the Tigers are in for a rough stretch. I think they'll have 3 or 4 games, especially against better teams. If they're lucky enough to come up against a team, I'm not sure what their draw's like, but they've obviously got Essendon in 6 weeks' time, so they'll be looking forward to that one for a competitive. But if they've got West Coast and some others in there, they'll hopefully have some easier opponents. But I think the Giants will be looking, because they haven't had a great year. As I said, they should be probably 0-4. But if it weren't for the 30-second stolen, they would be. So they'd be looking to. Sorry, that's St Kilda, but the Giants should have won that game, so they should be 2-2. But they're probably looking at some of the games they've played and thinking we have not performed the way we want. So I reckon if ever there was a time for them to come out and make a statement, this could be as big a win as the Geelong West Coast game we're expecting. So I'll go the Giants too.
Nice. I am a little bit worried because it always feels like, I don't know, Gather Round usually throws out like weird sort of game out of the sort of things. Maybe North Brisbane is that weird one this year. I don't know. But you sort of think about like even Melbourne Essendon last year was like Melbourne weren't that horrible, and then it turns out they were pretty horrible. St Kilda GWS was a bit of a crazy one at Norwood. I remember that one. I don't know. There was like even I think early on Richmond Freo last year was like a close one, but I don't know. I think GWS have just got have to, right?
They have to have a big win. They have to.
And then finally, Port Adelaide, the final game of Gather Round at home against St Kilda, obviously 7.5-point underdogs the power against the Saints. This is a fascinating one. What do you reckon, Jez?
I feel like that line should be more, but I'm also not surprised that it isn't because it's St Kilda. So this could quite easily be a St Kilda win, but a very good, like, close game that it probably shouldn't be when you've got the amount of money running around on the field for St Kilda. Yeah, I'm actually going to take. I think I'm going to take St Kilda because I think coming off the bye, the mad scientists will have had time to hopefully correct a few things that haven't gone right for them. Maybe, give TDK a potion or something to help him pull his finger out. And so I'm going to go with the Saints to have a probably not a massive win, but I reckon maybe 3 or 4 goal win. So I'm going to take the Saints.
I like it. I think Port in front of that home crowd, the final night of Gather Round, it's going to be a boozy crowd. It'll be all completely off chops. The Saints will be too good.
Wouldn't want to be walking around there with a St Kilda scarf on after. No.
Game. Jeez. I'm going to take Port. I think they keep it close. I don't think they win.
I like it, Jim. I like it.
I don't know. A lot of Josh Carr talk this week. Adding Nick as well. I think both the Adelaide teams are going to win. So, or at least.
Geez, they celebrated a win over Richmond pretty hard, didn't they?
They did. That might have been the one that just gets them in the right direction. It might also be the false dawn. They get their heads kicked in, but either way. Yeah. I think we tied it on the picks this week, so it's 17-20 so far. So, we only had like a couple different, so we just basically split them. You get that in the big job. So, Sleevo's Punters Club. Just missed out this week. Sam Darcy, 5+ was my pick this time last week. And he missed a couple early as well, but he had like 2
goals, 3.
In the first quarter, he had 2. And I'm like, he's going to kick it back.
Yep.
And basically just didn't bother after that. And you had, Bont 30+ and 3 goals?
Yep. He got the 30. He only kicked 1, though. So
I think the other one we talked about was McInerney, 25+ and a couple of goals against the Eagles.
24 and 1.
24 and 1.
You have a look at that, yeah.
I feel like he missed.
So close.
I think he kicked 1 goal too. So, breaking your heart.
Yeah.
But the best bet for Gather Round for me is Adelaide 60+. I reckon if you think Adelaide can win, I think they run right over the top of the Blues at some point. This is like a hedging my happiness kind of moment. If they get absolutely smashed, it's not going to be a giant surprise.
And you can buy yourself some beer.
Yeah, and I feel like we saw it literally last year. They got absolutely steamrolled. But there is that sort of like trepidation about Adelaide's midfield that I don't know if that's the sort of team that can take real advantage of the Blues. They're not that quick, I think, in the middle that much. But it does feel like someone like Rochelle or Rankin can just have like the best game of their career, basically. Rochelle's already done that once this season. So Adelaide 60+ is not a bad one. The other one, though, that I really love is essentially anyone on Norwood just going out and kicking a massive bag of goals this week. So that's, what was it, Geelong? That was Jezza Cameron, 5+, with huge bounce back. Like, he could be kicking them from 60 at Norwood. Don't worry about that. Charlie against the Suns would be pretty fun. But even
Ben
then,
King.
like, against the Swans, like flip side, I think one of them will just have a massive day out because it feels that easier on Norwood. And then, you think about Cats, Eagles, like even Jakey Waterman could have like this just crazy outing against the Cats. So a couple of sneaky big Norwood ones, I reckon. So I'd probably say Jezza 5+, Ben King 5+, Charlie 3 or 4, because they're sort of spreading it around that a little bit. But he was pretty good against the Eagles. But I don't know. What do you got there, Jess?
I'm going to stick with my goal kickers, and I'm going to go for the prancing pony, Big Paddy Voss, to kick 3+ against Collingwood on Friday night, because I don't know that they've got enough defenders to go with all of their tools. And if Big Paddy gets on a roll, with the feral Collingwood crowd booing him and hissing and possibly throwing all kinds of different diseases his way, he will. I think he's the sort of bloke who'll lap that up, and I reckon if he gets on early, there's he could be another one who kicks the bag, even though it's not at Norwood. But and the other one I would also be happy to throw some shekels on would be the Amati party to kick 4+. Because I can see out of those three that we've mentioned, King, Charlie Curnow, I could quite easily see the two of them being shut down by their respective defences, whereas that means that we're going to have either a Jed Walter maybe, but more likely an Amati party there. So see what happens.
Ethan Reid for a couple. He's been absolutely awesome to start this season. I don't know. It's pretty good. Yeah, I think the other sort of sneaky one, Tex Walker against the Blues on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's true.
Gather around, just like goes out and kicks 3, and you're like, what just happened? Why do we get like abused by a 60-year-old man? This sucks. But anyway, you get that on the big jobs.
You do.
And Gather Round is. But that's it. There's the round 4 wrap. Gather Round preview show of Footy Unfilterated. He's playing this song. I'm excited. I love Gather Round. It's an absolute vibe all weekend, Jez. Even when you're not there, it's just like, it's really cool just to have everyone like absolutely pumped for footy. And like that becomes the prevailing theme. How good's footy? And that's what we say here on Footy Unfilterated. Footy's pretty good. So there we go. We'll be banging on about it all weekend over on the socials as well. So follow us everywhere. You know how to.
I'll be up at Ballarat this weekend. Learmonth are kicking off against Skipton, out at Skipton. My oldest son Luke is playing there, so playing against the reigning premiers, which is why I'm wearing the Learmonth beanie today. So I'll be up there on Saturday watching them and cheering them on. Hopefully they can get a win over last year's premiers. So, and the young fella has a day out, which would be good.
Nice. I think I'll be up there on Sunday. That's hilarious.
There you go.
Either way, make sure you subscribe to the show across all your podcast apps, all that sort of stuff. Jump on the comments on YouTube.
Send us your NAS.
Yeah, I just
don't make me beg. Just don't make me beg.
Just send them through. She'll be
just send them through.
I've got footy questions. Answer them, please. That's it. Gather Round is ahead. It's going to be awesome. Big thanks always go to the Ramshackle Army for the intro.
Absolutely.
They rule. They're playing Scarfighter 2 at the Bendigo Hotel.
Hell yeah. Can't wait.
So that'll be really good. Go check them out. But either way, make sure you jump on the YouTube as well. And like you can see our mugs yelling about footy. I'm going to try to throw little bits and bobs. I'll try to do power rankings this week. Hopefully I'm not as sick as a dog. So fingers crossed if I have time. But anyway, the power rankings will still go up just in image form. Pog form, who knows?
And I'm still learning technology as an out of date tradie. So when I work out how to do things, I will start throwing some stuff up there. So, but be prepared for some very boomer-esque posts.
Like it. All right. Well, until next week, stay off the rubbish gear. Gather round.
Hell
this
yeah.
is Unfilterated.
Footy! Woo! See ya.